football clubs, there are a few with rugby clubs. These include Arsenal and Tottenham, but they also include Aylesbury United and Telford. So all scales, from the Premiership to way below us. Over 120,000 people are members of supporters trusts across the country. This is a massive operation. 100 supporters trusts now have shareholding in their clubs. 45 supporters trusts have directors on the board, and 15 supporters trusts, one that we would know quite well because they were with us a couple of years ago, Exeter. Exeter is wholly owned by the supporters trust. Now why do I bring that up? I bring that up because it shows that going forward, many clubs see the benefit of a supporters trust in developing a link and see them so important they want them to be on the board of their club. And it is a way of the club getting, or the supporters getting a say in their club. Okay. So why do we need a supporters trust at Grays? To provide a vehicle for members to engage in activities and events in order to achieve a set of common objectives. To provide a single external voice for the Grays of GAFC. We all go on the website and put lots of comments. Wouldn't it be great to have one body that can talk about all our comments? To encourage the club to take proper account of the interests of its supporters and the community it serves in its decisions. To encourage and promote the principles of trust membership and supporter representation on the board of any company owning or controlling the club. We would like to see supporters trust members on the board of this club. We believe that is possible. Celebrate the club's background and traditions. You've seen JT has been on the website emailing everyone and seeing if we can get some old photos. And he's saying we're very keen on, even though I'm quite a new fan, there's lots of old fans, we should very much celebrate the tradition in the past. And using them to promote the club in a local area and do so attract new and lapsed supporters. For me, I've only been a fan for 4 years, but I'd like to be a fan for 24 years and 44 years and 64 years. That's a 50-year one, we can see that. It's a 50-year. So one thing for me is I want to ensure a long-term future for Grays Athletic. And I believe if we've got a supporters trust, we can ensure that. Because whatever happens, we will be there to support it. And most importantly, increased enjoyment for having an association with GAC both on and off the field. There's a couple of things that we have been doing already, or not as a trust, but as individuals in the trust. One of them is done by JT, because one of JT's very keen is to get the community involved with the club. So JT's going to tell us a little bit about your big day out.
Thanks very much. For you people who were at the last home game before this one, which was against York City, hopefully you would have noticed about 40 people over on the Shaft. And what I've started is a project called The Big Day Out. And it's basically to make football all-inclusive with the local community in Grays. I went out and got my own sponsorship money, and I interacted with, and they're going to hate me for saying this, handicapped and special needs children within the area. I went to Treetops, Snack. I also involved Ricky, who's one of our ex-stewards, through Mason's Lodge and Lilliput. And basically through getting my own sponsorship, I enabled effectively 36 people, 23 children and 13 of the carers to come along to that game free of charge. For me, it wasn't just about giving them a ticket in their hand. We also basically had a pack, which I went to the club shop, paid out of my own, out of the sponsors' money, and basically got scarves, they got a program, and some various other memorabilia. Also, too, we went and sponsored Andy Pugh's shirt for the rest of the season, and it was very appropriate that he actually scored the winning goal. Scored. scored the winning goal that day, and one of the children, Kieran, actually gets to take that home at the end of the season. So that's something that I'm looking to do next year, probably 3 or 4 events every season moving forward, to basically bring people who don't normally come to Grays or would very rarely get out. And that's something that I see as being all-inclusive and community involvement. So, and I'm actually going to hand that project over to Ricky Fallon's over there for next year, because I've got other things like the memorabilia stuff and celebrating the history of Grays Athletics. So I want to move on to other projects, but I just wanted to prove to the working group members we could do a project, get it up and running, run it successfully, and then move on to the next thing. But I'm very passionate about that anyway, as far as young children and getting them involved. And not just the kids who are able to come, but the kids go free. It's actually minority groups, so yeah, from that point of view.